May our Father, Messiah, and Holy Spirit be with us, brothers and sisters. We will be continuing with Jeremiah chapter 42. Then all the captains of the forces, and Johanan the son of Kareah, and Jezaniah the son of Hoshea, and all the people from the least even to the greatest came near, and said to Jeremiah the prophet, Let, we beseech you, our supplication be accepted before you, and pray for us to our Father in heaven, your Elohim, even for all this remnant. For we are left but a few of many, as your eyes do behold us, that our Father in heaven, your Elohim, may show us the way wherein we may walk, and the thing that we may do. Then Jeremiah the prophet said to them, I have heard you. Behold, I will pray to our Father in heaven, your Elohim, according to your words. And it will come to pass that whatsoever thing our Father will answer you, I will declare it to you. I will keep nothing back from you. Then they said to Jeremiah, Our Father, be a true and faithful witness between us, if we do not, even according to all things for the which our Father in heaven, your Elohim, will send you to us, whether it be good or whether it be evil, we will obey the voice of our Father in heaven, our Elohim, to whom we send you, that it may be well with us, when we obey the voice of our Father in heaven, our Elohim. And it came to pass after 10 days that the word of our Father in heaven came to Jeremiah. Then called he Johanan the son of Kareah, and all the captains of the forces which were with him, and all the people from the least even to the greatest, and said to them, This says our Father in heaven, the Elohim of Israel, to whom you sent me to present your supplication before him. If you will still abide in this land, then will I build you and not pull you down, and will plant you and not pluck you up, for I repent me of the evil that I have done to you. Be not afraid of the king of Babylon, of whom you are afraid. Be not afraid of him, says our Father in heaven. For I am with you to save you and to deliver you from his hand, and I will show mercies to you, that he may have mercy upon you, and cause you to return to your own land. But if you say, We will not dwell in this land, neither obey the voice of our Father in heaven, your Elohim, saying, No, but we will go into the land of Egypt, where we will see no war, nor hear the sound of the trumpet, nor have hunger of bread, and there will we dwell. And now, therefore, hear the word of our Father in heaven, you remnant of Judah. This says our Father in heaven of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, If you wholly set your faces to enter into Egypt and go to sojourn there, then it will come to pass that the sword which you feared will overtake you there in the land of Egypt, and the famine whereof you were afraid will follow close after you there in Egypt, and there you will die. So will it be with all the men that set their faces to go into Egypt to sojourn there. They will die by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence, and none of them will remain or escape from the evil that I will bring upon them. For this says our Father in heaven of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, As my anger and my fury has been poured forth upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem, so will my fury be poured forth upon you, when you will enter into Egypt, and you will be an execration and an astonishment and a curse and a reproach, and you will see this place no more. Our Father has said concerning you, O you remnant of Judah, Go you not into Egypt. Know certainly that I have admonished you this day, for you disassembled in your hearts, that you sent me to our Father in heaven, your Elohim, saying, Pray for us to our Father in heaven, our Elohim, and according to all that our Father, our Elohim, will say, so declare it to us, and we will do it. And now I have this day declared it to you, but you have not obeyed the voice of our Father in heaven, your Elohim, nor anything for the which he has sent me to you. Now therefore, know certainly that you will die by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence in the place, whether you desire to go and to sojourn. Chapter 43. And it came to pass that when Jeremiah had made the end of speaking to all the people of the words of our Father in heaven, their Elohim, for which our Father in heaven, their Elohim, had sent him to them, even all these words. Then spake Azariah the son of Hoshaiah, and Johanan the son of Kareah, and all the proud men, saying to Jeremiah, You speak falsely. Our Father in heaven, our Elohim, has not sent you to say, Go not into Egypt to sojourn there. But Baruch the son of Neriah sets you on against us, for to deliver us into the hand of the Chaldeans, that they might put us to death, and carry us away captives into Babylon. So Johanan the son of Kareah, and all the captains of the forces, and all the people, obeyed not the voice of our Father in heaven, to dwell in the land of Judah. But Johanan the son of Kareah, and all the captains of the forces, took all the remnant of Judah that were returned from all nations whither they had been driven, to dwell in the land of Judah, even men and women and children, and the king's daughters, and every person that Nebuzaradan the captain of the guard had left with Gedaliah the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, and Jeremiah the prophet, and Baruch the son of Neriah. So they came into the land of Egypt, for they obeyed not the voice of our Father in heaven. This came they even to Taphanes. Then came the word of our Father in heaven to Jeremiah in Taphanes, saying, Take great stones in your hand, and hide them in the clay in the brooklyn, which is at the entry of Pharaoh's house in Taphanes, in the sight of the men of Judah, and say to them, This says our Father in heaven of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, Behold, I will send and take Nebuchadrezzar, the king of Babylon. Nebuchadrezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and will set his throne upon these stones that I have hid, and he will spread his royal pavilion over them. And when he comes, he will smite the land of Egypt, and deliver such as are for death to death, and such as are for captivity to captivity, and such as are for the sword to the sword. And I will kindle a fire in the houses of the Elohims of Egypt, and he will burn them and carry them away captives. And he will array himself with the land of Egypt as a shepherd puts on his garment, and he will go forth from there in peace. He will break also the images of Beth Shemesh. This is the land of Egypt, and the houses of the Elohims of the Egyptians will he burn with fire. Chapter 44. The word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the Jews which dwell in the land of Egypt, which dwell at Migdol, and at Taphanes, and at Noph, and in the country of Pathros, saying, This says our Father in heaven, Elohim of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, You have seen all the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem, and upon all the cities of Judah, and behold, this day they are desolation, and no man dwells therein, because of their wickedness, which they have committed to provoke me to anger, in that they went to burn incense, and to serve other Elohims whom they knew not, neither they, you, nor your fathers. Howbeit, I sent to you all my servants, the prophets, rising early and sending them, saying, Oh, do not this abominable thing that I hate. But they hearkened not, nor inclined their ear to turn from their wickedness, to burn no incense to other Elohims. Wherefore my fury and my anger was poured forth, and was kindled in the cities of Judah, and in the streets of Jerusalem. They are wasted and desolate, as at this day. Therefore now this says our Father in heaven, the Elohim of hosts, the Elohim of Israel. Wherefore commit you this great evil against your souls, to cut off from you man and woman, child and suckling out of Judah, to leave you none to remain, in that you provoke me to wrath with the works of your hands, burning incense to other Elohims in the land of Egypt, whither you be gone to dwell, that you might cut yourselves off, and that you might be a curse and a reproach among all the nations of the earth. Have you forgotten the wickedness of your fathers, and the wickedness of the kings of Judah, and the wickedness of their wives, and your own wickedness, and the wickedness of your wives, which they have committed in the land of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem? They are not humbled, even to this day, neither have they feared, nor walked in my law, nor my statutes, that I set before you, and before your fathers. Therefore this says our Father of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, behold, I will set my face against you for evil, and to cut off all Judah. And I will take the remnant of Judah that have set their faces to go into the land of Egypt to sojourn there, and they will be consumed and fall in the land of Egypt. They will even be consumed by the sword and by the famine. They will die from the least even to the greatest, the least by the sword and by the famine, and they will be execration and an astonishment and a curse and a reproach. For I will punish them that dwell in the land of Egypt, as I have punished Jerusalem by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence, so that none of the remnant of Judah which are gone into the land of Egypt to sojourn there will escape or remain, that they should return into the land of Judah, to the which they have a desire to return to dwell there. For none will return, but such as will escape. Then all the men which knew that their wives had burned incense to other Elohims, and all the women that stood by, a great multitude, even all the people that dwelt in the land of Egypt, and Pathros, answered Jeremiah, saying, As for the word that you have spoken to us in the name of our Father in heaven, we will not hearken to you, but we will certainly do whatsoever thing goes forth out of your own mouth, to burn incense to the Queen of heaven, and to pour out drink offerings to her, as we have done, we and our fathers, our kings and our princes in the cities of Judah, and in the streets of Jerusalem. For then we had plenty of victuals, and were well, and saw no evil. But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of heaven, and to pour out drink offerings to her, we have wanted all things, and have been consumed by the sword and by the famine. And when we burned incense to the Queen of heaven, and poured out drink offerings to her, did we make her cakes to worship her, and pour out drink offerings to her without our men? Then Jeremiah said to all the people, to the men and to the women, and to all the people that have given him that answer, saying, The incense that you have burned in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem, you and your fathers, your kings and your princes and the people of the land, did not our Father in heaven remember them, and came it not into his mind, so that our Father could no longer bear because of the evil of your doings, because of the abominations which you have committed. Therefore is your land a desolation and an astonishment and a curse without an inhabitant, as at this day, because you have burned incense, and because you have sinned against our Father in heaven, and have not obeyed the voice of our Father, nor walked in his law, nor in his statutes, nor in his testimonies. Therefore this evil has happened to you, as at this day. Moreover, Jeremiah said to all the women and to all the people and to all the women, Hear the word of our Father in heaven, all Judah that are in the land of Egypt. This says our Father in heaven of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, saying, You and your wives have both spoken with your mouths and fulfilled with your hands, saying, We will surely perform our vows that we have vowed to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and to pour out drink offerings to her. You will surely accomplish your vows and surely perform your vows. Therefore, hear you the word of our Father in heaven, all Judah that dwell in the land of Egypt. Behold, I have sworn by my great name, says our Father in heaven, that my name will no more be named in the mouth of any man of Judah in all the land of Egypt, saying, Our Father in heaven lives. Behold, I will watch over them for evil and not for good, and all the men of Judah that are in the land of Egypt will be consumed by the sword and by the famine, until there be an end of them. Yet a small number that escape the sword will return out of the land of Egypt into the land of Judah, and all the remnant of Judah that are gone into the land of Egypt to sojourn there will know whose words will stand, mine or theirs. And this will be a sign to you, says our Father in heaven, that I will punish you in this place, that you may know that my words will surely stand against you for evil. This says our Father, Behold, I will give Pharaoh Hophra, king of Egypt, into the hand of his enemies, and into the hand of them that seek his life, as I gave Zedekiah, king of Judah, into the hand of Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, his enemy, and that saw his life. Chapter 45. The word that Jeremiah the prophet spake to Baruch, the son of Neriah, when he had written these words in a book at the month of Jeremiah, in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, saying, This says our Father in heaven, the Elohim of Israel, to you, O Baruch. You did say, Woe is me now, for our father has added grief to my sorrow. I fainted in my sighing, and I find no rest. This will you say to him, Our father says this, Behold, that which I have built will I break down, and that which I have planted I will pluck up, even this whole land. And seek you great things for yourself? Seek them not, for, behold, I will bring evil upon all flesh, says our Father in heaven. But your life will I give to you for a prey in all places, whither you go. Chapter 46. The word of our Father in heaven which came to Jeremiah the prophet against the Gentiles, against Egypt, against the army of Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, which was by the river Euphrates in Carchemish, which Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, smote in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah. Order you the buckler and shield, and draw near to battle. Harness the horses, and get up, you horsemen, and stand forth with your helmets. Furbish the spears, and put on the brigandines. Wherefore have I seen them dismayed and turned away back, and their mighty ones are beaten down, and are fled apace, and look not back. For fear was round about, says our Father in heaven. Let not the swift flee away, nor the mighty man escape. They will stumble and fall. Toward the north, by the river Euphrates. Who is this that comes up as a flood, whose waters are moved as the rivers? Egypt rises up like a flood, and his waters are moved like the rivers. And he says, I will go up and will cover the earth. I will destroy the city and the inhabitants thereof. Come up, you horses, and rage, you chariots, and let the mighty men come forth, the Ethiopians and the Libyans that hand the shield, and the Lydians that handle and bend the bow. For this is the day of our Father in heaven, Elohim of hosts, a day of vengeance, that he may avenge him of his adversaries, and the sword will devour, and it will be satiate, and made drunk with their blood. For our father, Elohim of hosts, has a sacrifice in the north country by the river Euphrates. Go up into Gilead and take balm, O virgin, the daughter of Egypt. In vain will you use many medicines, for you will not be cured. The nations have heard of your shame, and your cry has filled the land. For the mighty man has stumbled against the mighty, and they are fallen both together. The word that our Father in heaven spake to Jeremiah the prophet, now Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, should come and smite the land of Egypt. Declare you in Egypt, and publish in Migdol, and publish in Noph, and in Tahpanhes. Say you, stand fast and prepare you, for the sword will devour round about you. Why are your valiant men swept away? They stood not, because our Father did drive them. He made many to fall. Yea, one fell upon another, and they said, Arise, and let us go again to our own people, and to the land of our nativity, from the oppressing sword. They did cry there, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, is but a noise. He has passed the time appointed. As I live, says the king, whose name is our Father of hosts, surely as Tabor is among the mountains, and as Carmel by the sea, so will he come. O you daughter dwelling in Egypt, furnish yourself to go into captivity, for Noph will be waste and desolate without an inhabitant. Egypt is like a very fair heifer, but destruction comes. It comes out of the north. Also her hired men are in the midst of her like fatted bullocks, and they also are turned back, and are fled away together. They did not stand, because the day of their calamity was come upon them, and the time of their visitation. The voice thereof will go like a serpent, for they will march with an army, and come against her with axes, as hewers of wood. They will cut down her forest, as our Father in heaven, though it cannot be searched, because they are more than the grasshoppers, and are innumerable. The daughter of Egypt will be confounded. She will be delivered into the hand of the people of the north. Our Father of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, says, Behold, I will punish the multitude of No, and Pharaoh, and Egypt with their Elohims and their kings, even Pharaoh and all them that trust in him. And I will deliver them into the hand of those that seek their lives, and into the hand of Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, and into the hand of his servants. And afterward it will be inhabited as in the days of old, says our Father. But fear not you, O my servant Jacob, and be not dismayed, O Israel. For behold, I will save you from afar off, and your seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob will return and be in rest and at ease, and none will make him afraid. Fear you not, O Jacob, my servant, says our Father in heaven, for I am with you. For I will make a full end of all the nations, whether I have driven you, but I will not make a full end of you, but correct you in measure, yet will I not leave you wholly unpunished. Chapter 47. The word of our Father in heaven that came to Jeremiah the prophet against the Philistines, before that Pharaoh smote Gaza. This says our Father in heaven, Behold, waters rise up out of the north, and will be an overflowing flood, and will overflow the land, and all that is therein, the city, and them that dwell therein. Then the men will cry, and all the inhabitants of the land will howl, at the noise of the stamping of the hoofs of his strong horses, at the rushing of his chariots, and at the rumbling of his wheels. The fathers will not look back at their children for feebleness of hands, because of the day that comes to spoil all the Philistines, and to cut off from Tyrus and Zidon every helper that remains. For our Father in heaven will spoil the Philistines, the remnant of the country of Caphtor. Baldness is come upon Gaza. Ashkelon is cut off with the remnant of their valley. How long will you cut yourself, O you sword of our Father in heaven? How long will it be ere you be quiet? But, O put up yourself into your scabbard, rest and be still. How can it be quiet, seeing our Father in heaven has given it a charge against Ashkelon and against the seashore? There has he appointed it. Chapter 48. Against Moab, this says our Father in heaven of hosts, the Elohim of Israel: Woe to Nebo, for it is spoiled. Kiriathaim is confounded and taken. Misgab is confounded and dismayed. There will be no more praise of Moab in Heshbon. Oh, there will be no praise of Moab. In Heshbon, they have devised evil against it. Come, and let us cut it off from being a nation. Also, there will be cut down, O madmen. The sword will pursue you. A voice of crying will be from Horonaim, spoiling and great destruction. Moab is destroyed, her little ones have caused a cry to be heard. For in the going up of Luhith, continual weeping will go up. For in the going down of Horonaim, the enemies have heard a cry of destruction. Flee, save your lives, and be like the heath in the wilderness. For because you have trusted in your works and in your treasures, you will also be taken. And Chemosh will go forth into captivity with his priests and his princes together. And the spoiler will come upon every city, and no city will escape. The valley also will perish, and the plain will be destroyed, as our Father has spoken. Give wings to Moab, that it may flee and get away. For the cities thereof will be desolate without any to dwell therein. Cursed be he that does the work of our Father in heaven deceitfully, and cursed be he that keeps back his sword from blood. Moab has been at ease from his youth, and he has settled on his lees, and has not been emptied from vessel to vessel, neither has he gone into captivity. Therefore his taste remained in him, and his scent is not changed. Therefore, behold, the days come, says our Father in heaven, that I will send to him wanderers, that will cause him to wonder, and will empty his vessels, and break their bottles. And Moab will be ashamed of Chemosh, as the house of Israel was ashamed of Bethel, their confidence. How say you, we are mighty and strong men of the war? Moab is spoiled and gone up out of her cities, and his chosen young men are gone down to the slaughter, says our Father in heaven, whose name is the Father of hosts. The calamity of Moab is near to come, and his affliction hastes fast. All you that are about him bemoan him, and all you that know his name say, How is the strong staff broken, and the beautiful rod? You daughter that does inhabit Dibon, come down from your glory, and come and sit and thirst, for the spoiler of Moab will come upon you, and he will destroy your strongholds. O inhabitant of Aroer, stand by the way in Espi, ask him that flees, and her that escapes, and say, What is done? Moab is confounded, for it is broken down. Howl and cry. Tell you it in Arnon that Moab is spoiled, and judgment is come upon the plain country, upon Holon, and upon Jahaza, and upon Mephaath, and upon Dibon, and upon Nebo, and upon Beth Diblathaim, and upon Kiriathaim, and upon Beth Gamul, and upon Beth Meon, and upon Kerioth, and upon Bozrah, and upon all the cities of the land of Moab, far or near. The horn of Moab is cut off, and his arm is broken, says our Father in heaven. Make you him drunken, for he magnified himself against our Father in heaven. Moab also will wallow in his vomit, and he also will be in derision. For was not Israel a derision to you? Was he found among thieves? For since you spake of him, you skipped for joy. O you that dwell in Moab, leave the cities and dwell in the rock, and be like the dove that makes her nest in the sides of the hole's mouth. We have heard the pride of Moab. He is exceeding proud, his loftiness and his arrogancy, and his pride, and the haughtiness of his heart. I know his wrath, says our Father in heaven. But it will not be so. His lies will not be so afflicted. Therefore will I howl for Moab. I will cry out for all Moab. My heart will mourn for the men of Kirheres, O vine of Sibmah. I will weep for you with the weeping of Jazer. Your plants are gone over the sea. They reach even to the sea of Jazer. The spoiler is fallen upon your summer fruits and upon your vintage, and joy and gladness is taken from the plentiful field and from the land of Moab. And I have caused wine to fail from the wine presses. None will tread with shouting. Their shouting will be no shouting. From the cry of Heshbon even to Elilah, and even to Jahaz have they uttered their voice. From Zoar even to Horonaim, as an heifer of 3 years old. For the waters also of Nimrim will be desolate. Moreover, I will cause to cease in Moab, says our Father in heaven, him that offers in the high places, and him that burns incense to his Elohims. Therefore my heart will sound for Moab like pipes, and my heart will sound like pipes for the men of Kir'eres, because the riches that he has gotten are perished. For every head will be bald, and every beard clipped. Upon the hands will be cuttings, and upon the loins sackcloth. There will be lamentation generally upon all the housetops of Moab, and in the streets thereof. For I have broken Moab like a vessel, wherein is no pleasure, says our Father in heaven. They will howl, saying, how is it broken down? How has Moab turned the back with shame? So will Moab be a derision and dismaying to all them about him. For this says our Father in heaven, behold, he will fly as an eagle, and will spread his wings over Moab. Kirioth is taken, and the strongholds are surprised, and the mighty men's hearts in Moab at that day will be as the heart of a woman in her pangs. And Moab will be destroyed from being a people, because he has magnified himself against our Father in heaven. Fear, and the pit, and the snare will be upon you, O inhabitant of Moab, says our Father in heaven. He that flees from the fear will fall into the pit, and he that gets up out of the pit will be taken in the snare. For I will bring upon it, even upon Moab, the year of their visitation, says our Father in heaven. That they stood under the shadow of Heshbon because of the force. But a fire will come forth out of Heshbon, and a flame from the midst of Sihon, and will devour the corn of Moab, and the crown of the head of the tumultuous ones. Woe be to you, O Moab! The people of Chemosh perishes, for your sons are taken captives, and your daughters captives. Yet will I bring again the captivity of Moab in the latter days, says our Father in heaven. This far is the judgment of Moab. Chapter 49. Concerning the Ammonites, this says our Father in heaven. Has Israel no sons? Has he no heir? Why then does their king inherit Gad, and his people dwell in his cities? Therefore, behold, the days come, says our Father in heaven, that I will cause an alarm of war to be heard in Rabbah of the Ammonites, and it will be a desolate heap, and her daughters will be burned with fire. Then will Israel be heir to them that were his heirs, says our Father in heaven. Howl, O Heshbon, for Ai is spoiled. Cry, you daughters of Rabbah, gird you with sackcloth, lament, and run to and fro by the hedges, for their king will go into captivity, and his priests and his princes together. Wherefore glory you in the valleys, your flowing valley, O backsliding daughter, that trusted in her treasures, saying, who will come to me? Behold, I will bring a fear upon you, says our Father in heaven, Elohim of hosts, from all those that be about you, and you will be driven out, every man right forth, and none will gather him that wanders. And afterward I will bring again the captivity of the children of Ammon, says our Father in heaven. Concerning Edom, this says our Father in heaven, Elohim of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Flee you, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. If grape gatherers come to you, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If thieves by night, they will destroy till they have enough. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he will not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled in his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Leave your fatherless children, I will preserve them alive, and let your widows trust in me. For this says our Father in heaven, Behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken, and are you he that will altogether go unpunished? You will not go unpunished, but you will say, Surely drink of it. For I have sworn by myself, says our Father in heaven, that Basra will become a desolation and a reproach, a waste and a curse, and all the cities thereof will be perpetual wastes. I have heard a rumor from our Father in heaven, and an ambassador sent to the heathen, saying, Gather you together and come against her and rise up to the battle. For lo, I will make you small among the heathen and despised among men. Your terribleness has deceived you, and the pride of your heart. O you that dwell in the clefts of the rock, that holds the height of the hill, though you should make your nest as high as the eagle, I will bring you down from there, says our Father in heaven. Also Edom will be a desolation. Every one that goes by it will be astonished, and will hiss at all the plagues thereof, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, says our Father in heaven. No man will abide there, neither will a son of man dwell in it. Behold, he will come up like a lion from the dwelling of Jordan against the habitation of the strong, but I will suddenly make him run away from her. And who is the chosen man that I may appoint over her? For who is like me, and who will appoint me the time? And who is that shepherd that will stand before me? Therefore hear the counsel of our Father in heaven, that he has taken against Edom and his purposes, that he has purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock will draw them out. Surely he will make their habitations desolate with them. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall. At the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. Behold, he will come up and fly as the eagle, and spread his wings over Basra. And at that day will the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pangs. Concerning Damascus, Hamath is confounded, and Arpad, for they have heard evil tidings. They are faint-hearted. There is sorrow on the sea, it cannot be quiet. Damascus is waxed feeble and turns herself to flee, and fear has seized on her. Anguish and sorrows have taken her as a woman in travail. How is the city of praise not left, the city of my joy? Therefore her young men will fall in her streets, and all the men of war will be cut off in that day, says our Father in heaven of hosts. And I will kindle a fire in the wall of Damascus, and it will consume the palaces of Ben-Hadad. Concerning Kedar, and concerning the kingdoms of Hazor, which Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, will smite, this says our Father in heaven. Arise you, go up to Kedar, and spoil the men of the east. Their tents and their flocks will they take away. They will take to themselves their curtains and all their vessels and their camels, and they will cry to them. Fear is on every side. Flee, get you far off. Dwell deep, O you inhabitants of Hazor, says our Father in heaven. For Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, has taken counsel against you, and has conceived a purpose against you. Arise, get you up to the wealthy nation that dwells without care, says our Father in heaven, which have neither gates nor bars, which dwell alone. And their camels will be a booty, and the multitude of their cattle a spoil. And I will scatter into all winds them that are in the utmost corners, and I will bring their calamity from all sides thereof, says our Father in heaven. And Hazor will be a dwelling for dragons and a desolation forever. There will no man abide there, nor any son of man dwell in it. The word of our Father in heaven that came to Jeremiah the prophet against Elam in the beginning of the reign of Zedekiah king of Judah, saying, This says our Father in heaven of hosts, Behold, I will break the bow of Elam, the chief of their might, and upon Elam will I bring the four winds from the four quarters of heaven, and will scatter them toward those winds, and there will be no nation, whether the outcasts of Elam will not come. For I will cause Elam to be dismayed before their enemies, and before them that seek their life, and I will bring evil upon them, even my fierce anger, says our Father in heaven, and I will send the sword after them, till I have consumed them. And I will set my throne in Elam, and will destroy from there the king and the princes, says our Father in heaven. But it will come to pass in the latter days that I will bring again the captivity of Elam, says our Father in heaven. Chapter 50. The word that our Father in heaven spake against Babylon and against the city of and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. Declare you among the nations, and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces. For out of the north there comes up a nation against her, which will make her land desolate, and none will dwell therein. They will remove, they will depart, both man and beast, in those days. And in that time, says our Father in heaven, the children of Israel will come, they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping. They will go and seek our Father in heaven, their Elohim. They will ask the way to Zion with their faces thitherward, saying, Come, and let us join ourselves to our Father in heaven in a perpetual covenant that will not be forgotten. My people has been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. All that confounded them have devoured them. And their adversary said, We offend not, because they have sinned against our Father in heaven, the habitation of justice, even our Father in heaven, the hope of their fathers. Remove out of the midst of Babylon, and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be as the he-goats before the flocks. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they will set themselves in array against her. From there she will be taken. Their arrows will be as of a mighty expert man. None will return in vain. And Chaldea will be a spoil. All that spoil her will be satisfied, says our Father in heaven. Because you are glad, because you rejoice, O you destroyers of my heritage, because you are grown fat as a heifer, at grass, and bellow as bulls. Your mother will be sore confounded. She that bare you will be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations will be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Because of the wrath of our Father in heaven, it will not be inhabited, but it will be wholly desolate. Every one that goes by Babylon will be astonished, and hiss at all her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all you that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she has sinned against our Father in heaven. Shout against her round about. She has given her hand, her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of our Father in heaven. Take vengeance upon her, as she has done due to her. Cut off the sower from Babylon, and him that handles the sickle in the time of her harvest, for fear of the oppressing sword, They will turn every one to his people, and they will flee, every one to his own land. Israel is a scattered sheep. The lions have driven him away. First the king of Assyria has devoured him, and last this Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, has broken his bones. Therefore, this says our Father of hosts, the Elohim of Israel: Behold, I will punish the king of Babylon and his land, as I have punished the king of Assyria. And I will bring Israel again to his habitation, and he will feed on Carmel and Bashan, and his soul will be satisfied upon Mount Ephraim and Gilead. In those days and that time, says our Father in heaven, the iniquity of Israel will be sought for, and there will be none, and the sins of Judah, and they will not be found, for I will pardon them whom I reserve. Go up against the land of Merathaim, even against it, and against the inhabitants of Pekod. Waste and utterly destroy after them, says our Father in heaven, and do according to all that I have commanded you. A sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? I have laid a snare for you, and you are also taken, O Babylon, and you were not aware. You are found and also caught, because you have striven against our Father in heaven. Our Father has opened his armory, and has brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of our Father in heaven, Elohim of hosts, in the land of the Chaldeans. Come against her for the utmost border upon her storehouses. Cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left. Slay all her bullocks, let them go down to the slaughter. Woe to them, for their day has come, the name of their visitation, the voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of our Father in heaven, our Elohim, the vengeance of his temple. Altogether the archers against Babylon, all you that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she has done. Do to her, for she has been proud against our Father in heaven, against the Holy One of Israel. Therefore will her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war will be cut off in that day, says our Father in heaven. Behold, I am against you, O you most proud, says our Father in heaven, Elohim of hosts, for your day is come, the time that I will visit you, and the most proud will stumble and fall, and none will raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it will devour all round about him. This says our Father in heaven of hosts. The children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Their Redeemer is strong. Our Father of hosts is his name. He will thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land, and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. A sword is upon the Chaldeans, says our Father in heaven, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men. A sword is upon the liars, and they will dote a sword. They will dote. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they will be dismayed. A sword is upon their horses, and upon their chariots, and upon their mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they will become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, they will be robbed. A drought is upon her waters, and they will be dried up, for it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. Therefore the wild beasts of the desert, with the wild beasts of the islands, will dwell there, and the owls will dwell therein, and it will be no more inhabited forever, neither will it be dwelt in from generation to generation. As our Father in heaven overthrows Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, says our Father in heaven, so will no man abide there, neither will any son of man dwell therein. Behold, a people will come from the north, and a great nation, and many kings will be raised up from the coasts of the earth. They will hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy. Their voice will roar like the sea, and they will ride upon horses, every one put in array, like a man to the battle against you, O daughter of Babylon. The king of Babylon has heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as a woman in travail. Behold, he will come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan to the habitation of the strong. But I will make them suddenly run away from her. And who is a chosen man, that I may appoint over her? And who is like me, and who will appoint me the time? And who is that shepherd that will stand before me? Therefore hear you the counsel of our Father in heaven, that he has taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he has purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock will draw them out. Surely he will make their habitation desolate with them. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. And Father willing, brothers and sisters, we will continue with Jeremiah 51. May our Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit be with us. Repent, the kingdom of heaven is near.